There we go, people joining. Welcome. Welcome everyone. Just waiting for more people to arrive and join us before we get started.
If anybody has any questions that they want to throw into the chat, we do have a channel just a couple down here called AMA Questions channel, and you can throw your question in there. We'll just go through them in order when we do have some more people in here.
Oh, my man, Ben Mensah. Welcome, welcome. DYCP also, welcome. Request to speak. We currently don't have them enabled in this channel. If you want to put your questions, put them please in the AMA question channel just below this one. Give it a couple more minutes to give people a chance to join, and then we're going to start talking about the news, about your questions if you have any, and about all the things that we're being that we're up to basically. I see already a couple of very good questions. Go ahead and pile them up. All right, I think we can get started, Danielle. I don't think many more are going to be joining.
Yeah, we got plenty of questions piling up, so might as well.
Indeed. So let's start from indeed the staking and rewards, basically the yield farm that we have announced recently and just introduced. What this is effectively is a way for token holders, CATS holders, to at the same time support the project and get rewarded for supporting the project by getting more CATS and the privilege to vote in decision making for the highest level decisions of the economy of the CATS, and also to get the privilege to run a node for NFTArena, which generates rewards of its own. So the question is, can I stake CATS for other coins? Is no. It is single-sided staking, meaning that you stake CATS and you get CATS back on top of the CATS that you staked. This is preferable usually especially for hands-off type solutions, because you are not exposed to impermanent loss, which is the differential in price between the asset that you're staking and the asset that it's backed in. So if you were to be able to do it with two different assets, you would basically have to time the market so that you wouldn't be exposed to it, and there's more risk associated with it than just holding, really. So this is instead the single-sided staking, which just means that you put in CATS, you take out more CATS in exchange for the time that you put them in. The second question is staking auto-compounding? There is two options. So there is a manual claim on the rewards, which is not auto-compounding and gives you liquid rewards. And the second option indeed is to auto-compound it by restaking the rewards as soon as you claim them, basically. It's like an automated button so that you don't have to worry about it. Hands-off solution. Can I pair cats with a stable coin to provide liquidity? Yes, you can. You can add liquidity to decentralized exchanges however damn well you please. So you're, yeah, yeah, you can. And what will be the APR and APIs? How many cats per block? Can we link to the section in the documents? Can someone take care of that, please? Cats, staking, and rewards. There are the numbers there. We put them up. Its block time is 13 seconds because it's the block time of the Ethereum blockchain. And there are 3 million cats in rewards in the first year, which means that it boils down to 1.2 and then many other decimals cats per block created, which means that more or less every 10 seconds a new cat is generated. And the rewards are shared proportionally by the tokens that stake their tokens on the yield farm. So how much you get is proportional to how much you put in and proportional to how many others are basically benefiting from that reward. The total amount for the first year is going to be 3 million. That's 3% of the total supply. And consider that there will be no minting whatsoever for 2 whole years. And that 3 million is pretty sizable amount of tokens, so it's very good rewards, especially at the beginning, because the rewards of the yield farm are subject to a halving mechanism that triggers every 12 months. So rewards for the first year are 3 million cat tokens. Second year is obviously 1.5 million. Third year is going to be 750,000, and so on and so on and so on. So increasingly scarce, of course. What is the next question? Is the amount of cats for a node determined yet? Good question. We have indicative numbers, and we were thinking either 25 or 50,000 cats. So basically either a price of ETH or a half price of ETH when we started the crowd sale. The pre-sale, sorry, which would mean basically that you guys, our early audience, would have a fairly easy time getting the rights to the node, but that later on it would be pretty difficult, which is very good for crypto projects. It's good to have trusted and interested parties that want to help us spread at the beginning. Estimated reward per node is extremely variable and depends on the popularity of the NFTArena game. Okay, these are nodes for NFTArena that we're talking about. Crypto for us, how will it be different from other? Well, the YCP, I'll get back to you in a second. So how will it be different from other available dexes in the space? Well, we are very, very, very different. We are the first self-decentralizing exchange, or rather S-DEX. That means we are a crypto exchange and a securities broker, fully regulated securities broker, that actually redistributes platform-generated revenue back to the user base using a game-like point scoring system. So basically what that means is you put in trades, you get points based on the value that you produce for the network, and based on those points, you get distributions from the platform's net revenue. Further, the amount that is distributed increases over time as a consequence of our unique self-decentralization process. This is basically the process in which we transition the holding entity or our whole conglomerate for the purpose of increasing those revenue distributions. So from 25% all the way to 100%. That's how the main difference that we have. Other than that, we have a bunch of other stuff really. Ben Mensa, I'll get you in a second. DYCP first. What is the game again? NFTArena is an ERC 721 trading cards game. So basically it allows you to play cards game With your NFTs, rather than having to buy cards or NFTs from us, you can just stake whatever NFT you own on our smart contract. It will be wrapped with the data attributes that allow it to become a playing card, basically, and to be used in the game. And then you can play. You just have to either build a deck of 5 cards or buy 5 cards or whatever. And there's different game modes. You can win NFTs from your opponents. You can lose them to your opponents. You can add wagers on top. So it's going to be very fun. And how do I get my cats to show up in my Metamask collectible section? You mean the NFT for the Catterday NFT? Ben Mensa? I believe you just have to connect your wallet to OpenSea.
So I can answer that one.
Yeah.
So because those NFTs are on Matic, the MetaMask hasn't integrated Matic yet into their mobile, like, which is the only version that shows the collectibles right in your wallet. So I assume it probably will be soon because Matic is blowing up and there's tools being added every day, and the sell function on OpenSea on Matic has only been out for a couple days. So I can imagine it'll be soon, but for now, any of your NFTs that are on Matic, the only place you can see them is on OpenSea.
Yeah, crypto for us, to answer you again, we are going to be actually cross-chain liquidity. We're built as a layer 2 ecosystem to the Polkadot relay chain, so interoperability is one of the main benefits that we get from it. And further, because we're going for fully regulated, we actually have access to institutional liquidity providers as well. And all right, feel free to add any more questions that you guys might have. Perhaps we can move on to a couple other topics that were discussed or asked for several times during the last few days during the Telegram. For example, the patrons and champions. I saw some people saying that they would use the solution, and definitely me too. That's exactly what I made it for. Basically, this is a non-custodial solution, which means that no money leaves your wallet unless you actually lost money, by which you allow third parties that don't know who you are to trade on your behalf in exchange for a success fee. So that means that if they don't make you money, they don't get paid. Now, this is actually a little tiny sentence. It's a little point, but it seems like a little point, but it's actually a really major one. All right. With the previous brokers or asset managers of various types, you didn't really have a personal relation. You're just one of the many clients. You're just adding liquidity to the liquidity that they trade with, and whether you make money, whether your savings are safe or not, it doesn't really matter to them. You're just a bunch of numbers. Further, in such arrangements, you usually pay an entry fee, a performance fee, an exit fee, and in some cases even a bonus if they actually do their job. In this solution, instead, it's the complete opposite. It's a crowdsourced version of that, in which basically the results are what drives demand, because only everyone has the same metrics. Basically, everyone's judged on the same metrics, and the metrics are entirely out of the control of the users, so they can't manipulate it. And further, they only get paid if they make you money. So they don't really have a reason to just add you for the purpose of adding you for the purpose of entry fees, because that would just worsen their metrics and their chances of actually getting new investors. I see other chats lighting up. Are we getting questions elsewhere, perhaps?
Sorry, no, I was just checking to make sure. No, that is, we're having trouble getting somebody in. So that's the staff just trying to figure that out.
All right, well, guys, we definitely need your questions during an AMA because otherwise I have nothing to answer.
Let's talk about the IDO. People have been asking about that in the Telegram a lot.
Oh yeah, that's definitely among our priorities. We've reached out to platforms. There's unfortunately, third parties verifications to go through. So they have their processes, their times, and the likes. We have submitted applications to Polkastarter, to TrustSwap, and that's it for the moment. We're also in contact with several others, so we have alternatives. One way or another, we're going to be doing it basically. And the way it's going to work is it's going to be a capped round. It's going to be a heavily promoted round. There's going to be marketing stunts and budgets being spent in order to attract the right amount of people so that we can sell it all out. It's going to be a very big round because of the growth of Ethereum. That's actually could be a topic. Just to remind you guys that the cats are backed by Ethereum, so we're not losing in value due to the growth of Ethereum whatsoever. In fact, the cats are growing in value alongside it.
Just for this one time, they're backed by Ethereum.
Right.
Once they've been listed on Uniswap, that will no longer be the case.
Right. That's actually in relation to the previous question. If from the YCP, if you can add liquidity with other currencies, yeah, you absolutely can. Once they're public, people are going to be adding liquidity through Uniswap in whichever way they want.
We also have a question. How will this get liquidity from other DEX, like a DEX aggregator or projects needed to add liquidity on DEX?
As I was saying, I actually answered that already. We have both the DEX side and we actually have access to institutional liquidity as well because we are regulated. Is the DEX ready to deploy after token launch? No, it isn't. It's not a DEX like the ones you're used to. It's an S-DEX, all right? It's a totally different architecture, totally different concept entirely, really. It's more, it's kind of halfway between Binance and Uniswap. It's not a clone of Uniswap. It's its own thing. So this is, as I was saying before, it's a layer 2 to the Polkadot relay chain. It's a network composed of two types of nodes. One is an oracle node called the Watcher, and the other one is a counter node that is on chain. So the Watcher basically takes timestamps of the exchanges wallets, which are off chain, on a continuous basis, and feeds the timestamp data to the counters, which use it to recreate the ledger of transactions that happened in the exchange in real time. So that is used to compute an expectation of how much we have to distribute, and because it's a blockchain, we have this expectation from the previous period, which we corroborate with the current numbers that we've just received from the Watcher nodes. There's more detail about this in our documents if you want to go look at there. So that you can find out. Is the CATS project audited? Yes, we're using Open Zeppelin audited contracts for the deployment of the CATS. For the DAO itself, we are talking to externals, to other companies like DAO Stack or Trailbits and these ones, so that they can help us, because the DAO does have some customization that isn't in the templates. So that they can audit basically the custom part of the code. And what else? The DEX itself, the S-DEX itself will be audited. It's not out yet, and that's coming in like a year.
We have a question if the CATS project is audited.
Yes. Open Zeppelin contracts for the tokens and the crowd sale rounds. DAO is going to be audited. We don't know by who, because we don't know who's going to be helping us with it yet. And and yeah, basically everything's going to be audited, both from a smart contract perspective, and actually the interesting, unique bit that others usually don't do is that we're also doing the securities audit with the authorities. That auditing mechanism is actually quite interesting itself.
So we've been having people request like a dummies version of just the platform. So I think I'm going to take just a couple minutes to explain it from a more beginner perspective.
Go right ahead.
So I think a good way to think about it would be if you had Binance, but instead of just trading, they had games and competitions, NFTArena, the copy trading, and everything you did on this new Binance gave you points. And these points are going to earn you a portion of the revenue. Now, this portion of revenue is going to get higher and higher over time as the platform moves to 100% profit sharing. Now, the CATS tokens are our utility token, and you're going to be able to use that for all of the things on this exchange, like the competitions that I mentioned, the NFTArena, and even buying multipliers for your revenue sharing. So that's a big reason why, you're going to want those as multipliers for your revenue sharing. In my opinion, that's like the most important use case. Hopefully that's a little simpler for some people to understand.
That is definitely true, and definitely the primary use case. I'll get back to that in a second. I just wanted to answer I am Rain24. CATS tokens given to sponsor? No. No, we're just doing, airdrops, small airdrops to people, marketing initiatives and the likes, but we didn't give large amounts to anyone.
Oh yeah, definitely nothing like what's gonna happen.
No, we're a grassroots. Our rats groups, yeah, grassroots. I mean.
Yeah, when we're sending people tokens, it's like 300, 500 tokens, like what we're planning on doing today. 500 tokens that we're giving away at the end of this AMA.
Right, and even the team allocations actually are locked, so there's totally no chance of a rug pull. Our own tokens start unlocking 6 months after listing. All right, that's how confident we are about it. Yeah, you are getting tokens, man. It's the society we're trying to build. Imagine basically if the financial infrastructure itself gave its profit away. How much is that money? That's right. You should be confused. Any specific hardware requirement to run a node? There might be. We're trying to make it as light as possible, but that's still in the works. We want to make it light, super light, because we agree with the argument that if you need, enterprise size computer, you're not really decentralized, and we totally agree with that. There's, balancing between practicality and desire. We're gonna try our best. But also Daniel was making a good point about the multipliers and the fact that it becomes more desirable over time. Before we actually launched, a lot of people were asking me about why 100 million tokens. There's a lot of projects that go about how scarce they are. Scarcity is not just the number of tokens in existence. It's how much you spend them, at what rate, for what purpose, and the likes. So the reason we did it this way is because it allows us intentionally to distribute lots of tokens to a lot of people at the beginning when they're worth relatively little, and when people will be trading them a lot because they're getting rid of them a lot because they're relatively little. Okay, This allows them to spread a lot more, and a spread economy is a healthier economy than something that is concentrated. And basically, the amounts of tokens that are in circulation are like a fifth of the total at the beginning, and release over time throughout the course of 2 years, slowly and in a predictable manner. Now, predictability is super important in public markets because emotion is the main driver of the swings in the public markets. I bet you guys have seen this a lot especially in crypto. I mean, come on, Dogecoin and all these kind of things, and going up and down. It's a thriller every day. Emotion is actually what triggers basically all mistakes in trading in pros, and most mistakes in trading from beginners. So being able to predict the effect of inserting new tokens in the market at specific points in time means that we can introduce the full amount of the liquidity while raising funds for the project and benefiting the company, which benefits the value of the token, without causing shocks on the market, which would harm the value of the token. Is that clear?
One thing I think we should mention is the airdrop from last time being delayed due to gas fees right now.
Oh yeah, gas was like at 600 and something, so we kind of elected to delay it until it's a little more reasonable, because we don't want to waste your money that we've raised on unreasonable gas fees. Besides, I don't think anyone will be claiming it with 600 plus in gas.
Yeah, nothing will change with the list. Everyone that qualified will still be able to claim their tokens. We're just holding off on.
Right, and we have a few questions building up. What made you choose cats in the first place? Do you love cats, or were you trying to pose the Doge? It's a bit of a coincidence, honestly. It stands for NFTArena token right now. It's not really about cats. It was a fortuitous thing that kind of matched up with our security token's previous name. All right. Initially, our security tokens were called LEOs, for limited equity option, but we've had to change that because Bitfinex, one of our competitors, actually launched their own token, called it Leo token, and they did it before us. So we had to change it, and the cat token instead originally started as chain agnostic token. But we've opted instead to go for a utility token rather than a currency token, and kind of kept the name because it used to fit well with the Leo. We had the big cat and the small cat for the utility token. Then the security token changed, and hey, we kept the cat. Who cares? It's kind of the risk that you go through in decentralized environments where there's no name specificity, basically. That's a lot of money for attending. Yes, it is, and it will be more if you keep it. Will be a lottery inside cats like the other farms? No, there's not going to be a lottery inside the farm itself. The farm is not the attractive bit of our thing. Okay, it's the farm generates, other than rewards, it gives you access to the governance. All right, that's the most important part. The rewards are particularly attractive in the first few years, sure, but the real value of it is getting a synthetic token that you can use to vote with on the decisions of the DAO, basically. These decisions are the highest level of monetary policy, so it's like having the IMF, but a community version of the IMF. And you need to trade this synthetic token that you used to vote with back to the farm to take back the cats that you staked. So you can either have them staked and vote, or unstake them and not vote, basically. I do not have NFTArena tokens. How can I take advantage of the multiplier, or where can I get it? Very, very good question. So there you can definitely buy NFTArena tokens, cats. We have the crowd still open, even though the gas is very unreasonable now, so you shouldn't do it right now. You should just wait for a better time. And where can you buy them? You can buy them on our website. You just click on buy tokens. Alternatively, however, you are not required to buy the tokens to benefit from multipliers or from the distributions from us. We don't like gateways and the likes. So there's different ways that you can get multipliers. Generally speaking, activities that are cooperative and activities that are competitive will earn you multipliers over just acting as a single person. So to put it in practical terms, if you log into our exchange, you trade, you pay your commissions, you get X amount of tokens. If you, the same person with the same amount of money doing the same trades, do that same thing through the copy trading solution, you will earn more points, regardless of which role you are. Both the champion and the patron get more points than individuals. The other way that you can get more points is through competition, as I was saying. So we organize basically competitive events that are centered on trading and trading results. It's kind of like online poker tournaments where you have to buy in an amount, and those amounts from all the people buying in are used to create the reward structure for that event. Of course, in our platform, not only do you get a reward in money or whatever, crypto, but you also get glory points that are functional to distributions. You can win multipliers and the likes. What about the burning mechanism for cats? Cats are the only, there's no inherent burning mechanism to cats because there is no real need for them. What does burn is the synthetic token that is created when you put cats in the farm. So you put cats in the farm, they start accumulating and becoming more. At the same time, you get a synthetic token that represents the tokens that you have staked, with which you can vote. When you trade it back to the farm to get your cats back, that synthetic token is burnt. I am recording this. Thank you. Yes, good question. Oh, shout out to old mate that's gonna be watching us in the recording, by the way. There will be more AMAs soon. Yes, lots of them. In fact, we've been bombarded with requests. We have some pretty big groups as well. Hopefully we can get lots of waves generated from these events. Good. Anything else that you guys would like to know specifically? For example, why the cats are inflationary? It's a good question. So the reason they're inflationary is because we expect, objectively, the desirability of the token to increase exponentially with the release of the main platform. So the main use case of the CATS tokens, as we've discussed, is for multipliers of the revenue distributed by the exchange, which what this implies is that the more business success the platform actually has, the more volume goes through it, the more revenue it generates, and the more money it distributes. So because of this mechanism, the more money is being distributed, the more it's desirable to have a multiplier that will get you a bigger share of it. So essentially it's a self-incentivizing mechanism. The more the exchange becomes desirable, the more the tokens become desirable and therefore purchased, and the more they become purchased, the more they become scarce. The more they become scarce, the more value they provide to the main beneficiary of the cat's economy. And the main beneficiary of the cat's economy is the platform. That in turn means that the more value the cats generate, the more value the platform generates. And the more value the platform generates, the more value is being distributed. And therefore, the cat's tokens become more desirable. So it becomes a self-reinforcing mechanism, basically. Or as we like to call it, the law of more money.
Since we have some people in here that haven't been to some of the past AMAs, we should probably talk about the security token a bit.
Oh, okay, sure. The security token is super unique. It's super special. First of all, it's a security, as in a real security, like the ones governed by the Securities Exchange Commission. That means it's a real piece of the company. Okay, if the company decides to splurge money on buying a skyscraper, that means that you, owning security tokens, also own part of that skyscraper. So basically, you own part of everything. That's a big deal for crypto because they're usually not securities, and ours is even special of its own because it adds rewards on top of a normal security. It adds rewards on top of normal security in exchange for one specific promise on behalf of everyone that buys these security tokens. How to buy cat tokens? Go to cryptoarena.org and click on buy tokens, and there's a plugin that you can use to connect to your Metamask, or that link right there. However, I do suggest that you wait for more tolerable gas fees because they're a little bit terrible. And Mace Papa, yeah, you have great questions, so I'll get to you in a second. The security tokens have three purposes and many benefits, basically. The purposes are to be a real investment vehicle. The second one is to become beacons to our system, to tell our system, basically our blockchain, how much should be distributed where in the next period. Crypto for us, if you remember, I was telling you before about watchers and counters computing an expectation of how much they should be distributing in the next period. Well, how much they should be distributing where comes from where the security tokens are. So if you have 1% of the security tokens, you're owed 1% of the distribution that is coming in direct dividends. And the third purpose that they have is as guarantors to the self-decentralization process. So basically this means that they have a bunch of rules programmed into them that allow us to guarantee that over time we go from 25% revenue distribution to 100% revenue distribution, both in practical terms, in tech terms, in numerical terms, and in legal terms. So our entity becomes from a hybrid into a fully non-profit, meaning we literally can't and won't retain the revenue. So where and how to buy security tokens? They are currently super restricted at the moment. For example, we cannot sell any securities to US citizens at the moment until after the auditing. For others, instead, the only way we can sell them is through safes. Okay, that's a paper contract. It's an old-timey fashion contract. It stands for Simple Agreement for Future Equity. Ours is a SAFE-T, Simple Agreement for Future Equity token. And basically we're only selling those through private deals for the moment. We're bootstrapping with the utility tokens and baiting the big money, the big VCs and the big players with the security tokens, so that they can help us achieve greater magnitudes. Exchanges compete on volume, on liquidity that they have at their disposal, and on the volume that goes in trading. That means the more money, the more impact you can have when you actually hit the market. Question is potential about legal implication with the security token for just different jurisdictions. there's a lot of potential implications. The biggest implications are obviously for the US market. It means that there's in the US market there's a difference between accredited and unaccredited investors. All right, that means savvy people and non-savvy people. And savvy people can invest in securities, even if it's not very much known. That's how, for example, big capital venture capitals are able to invest in promising startups around the world from the United States, is through these exceptions. There are various statutes of exceptions, and they're super complex. The one that applies to our case is exemption. We're recording, I shouldn't say it because I don't remember exactly. But yeah, we should be all right because we're an actual non-profit, because our mechanisms are short and sweet. So they're full circle, and we actually do distribute all of the money. Can I use Cat or the NFT to play NFT in the arena? Yes, you can. In fact, yes. You can make a whole squad of cats with the same cat NFT if you'd like, because even if you stake the same NFT twice on NFTArena's smart contract, the data attributes that will be given to it are extremely likely going to be different. They're generated at random. It's a calculation based on A, chance, B, rarity of the NFT that you're staking, and a couple other yes, indeed, strategy time, and a couple of other factors in the balancing calculation. But it basically means that you can get different levels of wrapping, and these put you in different power classes. So each has a different maximum amount of points or range of points that they can achieve, and those points are assigned randomly through the smart contract. Oof, that's a lot of talking. Questions for Danielle specifically?
Yeah, go for it. NFT related or whatever.
When moon, Danielle?
Right away.
We actually have been mooning already. We haven't even listed.
Yes, that's true. Very true.
We started with cats per token valuation. Danielle is NFT ignition. We started with a per token valuation at the time of listing of 8 cents of a dollar, and we are now at what's at it's at 4,000. So yeah, we're at 20 cents per per cat instead of 8.
Yeah, and that's just compared to where we were going to list at before. That's not even talking about what the first round, second round price is.
Yeah, it's been pretty mad.
For me, it's perfect because I probably would have wasted my ETH on something and not had it throughout this whole pump. But now
it's good for the project.
I can't sell it.
There's good and bad for the project. I agree totally that Danielle is cool as hell. It's kind of good that ETH grew, obviously, because the valuation of token increased and the market cap on listing increases, of course. But at the same time, it's bad because it scared off a lot of people that thought they were going to lose on the growth of valuation of ETH, having to trade it for the cats. So it's actually made us lose a little bit of momentum with the sale, and the gas going crazy also really doesn't help. So yeah, basically, it's a wild market, 24-hour market, and with Surprises every day.
Where is NFTArena based?
We are distributed. We are very distributed around the world. However, we are currently located in the Netherlands and registered in the Netherlands. because your avatar bounces whenever you speak, and that drives me mad. I want one of those. Absolutely. Oh, by the way, we have an ETA for totally insider info. We have an ETA for the MVP for NFTArena for when it's gonna be live.
Nice.
1.5 months.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all, is it? Yeah, about. I said a quarter, and instead it's gonna take 1.5. Whimsy games, guys. Whimsy games. Yes, you can. And, check them. And they do very nice designs too. So we're probably also gonna get a makeover from them for our website so that we can make it properly nice and up to modern standards and give a right first impression and have animations and shit in place.
I love that you called it a makeover.
Well, it's basically what it is, isn't it?
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
I don't know why it made me way more excited about it than if you would have called it like an update.
Well, but it is really, it's not really an update because, the content's good, it says the right things, but it needs to pop more,
Yeah, let's put some eyeliner on it.
Exactly. Yes, Ray, yes. We haven't decided if it's going to be 25K or 50K, but yes, either or.
I'm just going to read the question out loud since you're recording this for people to know what you're talking about later. And they asked, are node operators going to need specific number of tokens to be eligible?
I'm actually recording the screen with the question.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I mean, shouldn't I be?
Yeah. I suppose we don't have our cameras on. That makes sense.
Yes, you're spamming gifts for the world. All right, that's covered quite a few things. I think we have 10 minutes more at least. So, any more questions, guys, about anything, literally anything that you might want to ask? Oh, actually, I remember one topic. Plenty of people were asking me, what are we going to do with the tokens of round 2 in case we don't manage to sell out round 2? Well, not to worry, it's a minted crowd sale, which means that the tokens that haven't been sold are literally not in existence yet. Okay, so they're not in our wallet, we can't use them later or any of the sort. They just don't exist until they're sold. Oh, yes, Blake, yes. Someone's been studying. Absolutely. If you guys are interested, I can explain these things. Probabilistic finality, deterministic proof, and proven finality are very big words, of course, that you can go to any big nerd and say that to him, and he'll fawn over you, basically, because they mean a lot of things. So probabilistic finality means the general agreement of everyone that is agreeing that something will happen in the future. Okay, that's probably not clear to anyone. But if you imagine I have an object in my hand and I drop it and everyone's watching me, and then I pick the object up again and I tell those people I'm gonna drop this object, everyone can expect that that object is gonna fall vertically and land in a general area, around my feet. This is it's an event that hasn't actually happened, but that you can expect to happen because you can agree on the rules that will make it happen. In this case, it's gravity. In a digital environment, you don't really have gravity or these kind of rules just being there like you have in reality. So you have to make them with code. And probabilistic finality is what we do to determine how much we should distribute in the next period. As I was saying, we know how much money we've made. We know how much should arrive in the next period to the security tokens that are the beacons. Therefore, we can expect that the amount that will arrive is the amount that we're sending, at least. That's probabilistic finality. Determinism instead is things that actually happen. All right. So if I'm dropping an object, the object has fallen and is on the ground is an event that has happened. That thing has already fallen, and that's determinism basically. Determinism in our case is the exact amount of money that we've made this month, and that data is provided to us by the watchers, taking snapshots of the wallets in real time, and combining the probabilistic expectation and what actually has happened, we achieve an actual proof. So proof and proven finality means irreversible proven entries on a distributed ledger. So it means it becomes entirely immutable in the long history of the blockchain. It can never be changed. You may have gone over it already, and if so, no worries, but could you go over where the tokens for the farm come from, how they affect overall tokenomics by introducing a new way to earn cats outside of buying, and do you think the lockup on cats tokens may cause sell pressure for the rewards? Great questions and very good points indeed, Mason. We had not gone through these specific details, and I'm quite sure that the audience is interested in them. So where the tokens for the farm come from? They come from the marketing allocation that you can see on our tokenomics page. It's going to show 20% of total supply to marketing. If you've ever done charts and allocations or the likes, you know that's disproportionate, and that's where we're getting the tokens for the yield farm from. So the first 2 years, as we discussed before, there's not going to be any inflation minting, so that's the full amount of the tokens that are in the rewards of the yield farm is taken from that marketing allocation. That means 4.5% of that 20, meaning 15 remaining in marketing and 5 goes to the rewards for the yield farm. And then how will this affect overall tokenomics? By introducing a new way to earn cats outside of buying. It does not affect tokenomics in that sense, because the tokens, we are taking them from an allocation that was already in existence. So we're not adding cats to the supply in order to make rewards for the yield farm available. We're using the same amount of tokens in a different way. And this actually has a positive effect on the tokenomics, because tokens that are locked in the yield farm are locked for 6 months, which means that they cannot be sold on open markets for that period of time, which in turn means that the circulating supply, instead of being 21 million, as you probably have learned from our documentation, the initial circulating supply from 21 million instead would be 21 million minus the amount that is staked in the yield farms. Further, you do not have to lock for the full amount of 6 months necessarily. It's fully voluntary. If you want to, you do. If you don't, you don't. And you can basically join in at any time. So if you say you join in the yield farm 3 months late, then your lockup is only going to last 3 months, but half of the rewards of that period have already been earned by the people behind you. And do you think that the lockup on CATS tokens may cause sell pressure for the rewards? No, there's the rewards themselves are accrued continuously, but you claim them either manually or automatically every 24 hours, which helps in contrasting arbitrage bots that can, continuously claim and dump and claim and dump and claim and dump. So there's mechanisms to help against this, and in fact it should help with the buying pressure, because the more tokens are locked up, the less in circulating supply, and especially with NFTArena coming out and other various forms of utility coming out, the demand for purchasing and using the tokens should and will likely increase. I have a question for Danielle. Did you reach out to Bull Crypto?
No, not yet. We talked about it just before I hopped in here, so I haven't had a chance to yet.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Fair enough. War is bad, okay? And Leonie typing questions. Let's hear the questions. Yeah, I'm plenty tired. It's been a hell of a week, guys. Latest news about presale 3. It's between the 24th and the end of the month. Final date is still dependent on third parties, confirmations, and all the things that we have to set up, including most notably the DAO, which has some customization to the templates, which means that we have to audit the custom part of the code before deploying it, because of course things that are deployed are immutable. So yeah, we wanted to anticipate from the end of the month. We want to beat that time and do it earlier, but it's most likely that we're gonna have to take the full amount of time at least. Yeah. And what else? It's gonna be a big round because of how much it has increased in valuation, Ethereum, I mean. So consequently, the rounds are getting bigger as well, which means that we're really only going for the best platforms and proper support and big leagues and the like. But that does take some bureaucracy, and by some I mean a lot. Actually, I made a cat meme for Oh, but I'm recording. I can't go through my folders. Never mind.
So make sure if you guys haven't been reading the chat that you do go fill out the form for the giveaway. We're going to be picking one winner, and this time we're just going to send it to the winner instead of having a claim for that.
Robbie has news. That's excellent. That always means good things.
Oh, I keep kicking him off the stage. Okay, I'll let him come back up. I wasn't sure. Okay, I'll unmute you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm unmuted now, I think. So I got awesome news, everyone.
Welcome, Robbie.
Our smart contracts are finally verified.
Awesome. Excellent.
Yeah, I thought that was it was literally just in the last few minutes, after about 5 attempted sendings to the Etherscan API. It's done. We got it.
Oh, fantastic.
Woohoo.
That's going to help a lot.
So that's I just thought it's done. I've got it done, and I thought I should announce it.
Yeah.
It's even cooler that they can actually see that we're actually working on these things right now. It's not an easy process. Takes a lot of time, effort, struggle, tears, but we get there.
Blood, sweat, and tears, indeed.
Yep.
Is it safe to ask you what
I'll
was
give the stage back to everyone else and get back to listening. And got on with some other stuff I gotta do.
I actually wanted to ask you, is it safe to ask you what the issue was in front of our audience?
Is it safe to ask me what the issue is? Of course, it was never what we were doing was the problem. It's always the lack of documentation available.
Of course.
That was the biggest issue. But we've learned how to do it now without the documentation, so that's the solution. More documentation, that's important in the programming world. And on another note, I need to go. I need to get back to doing some stuff for the airdrop.
All right, fantastic.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Robbie.
Just to let everyone know, we've got a great smart contract built, but Ethereum isn't playing very nicely when it comes to gas fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already announced it, and we're basically going to be deploying it as soon as gas is a little more decent. So that besides, nobody's going to really want to claim it with gas at 600 Goi plus.
We got spoiled with 2 weeks of good gas fees. It was like
I
this
think
before,
so.
but now we're all complaining again.
Anyway, gonna give you back to the stage and get on with some work. Hi guys, enjoy the good news.
Thank you, Robbie. All right, I don't see any more questions popping up.
What are the benefits of running a node? Do we get cats outside of the ones we are farming?
The benefits of running a node are not cats, they are Ethereum rewards. The way that these are generated is it's an Ethereum-based dApp, centralized application, and you have to pay gas costs when you stake an NFT on the smart contract to have it become a card. And when you pay gas costs, there's also a markup, it's called. It's basically a little surcharge on the cost of gas that is used to create the rewards, the pool of rewards for all the nodes running NFTArena. Meaning the more cards are staked on and off, the more Ethereum rewards accumulate and are shared between the nodes.
Are we planning on having the nodes ready right when the game is ready then?
Yes. Not necessarily for public use, but ready, yes. You don't even know how to farm. Don't worry, Ben Mensai. It's super easy. Basically it's a couple of clicks. You just put your tokens there, and they stay there. And honestly, I suggest use the automatic option so that you don't even have to worry about it. You just leave them there. Automatically compounds. That means, say you put 100, you get one back, and now you have 101. That one, instead of going to your pocket, goes on top of the 100, and instead of earning from the 100, you're earning from 101, which means you're earning a small piece more. The more you do this, the faster your money grows, basically.
Yeah, as far as farming goes, single-sided staking is definitely the simplest and has the least amount of risk in terms of loss and whatnot, like in permanent loss that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's a comfortable solution. It's honestly, we built it with literally with our team in mind. You know, would you use it? Is the criteria that we've decided to go with. Any video tutorials on this? Not yet, but there will be very soon. We have our very own Mace Papa right here, which we're gonna have to whip a little further for speed and efficiency, and we'll be definitely making. Yes, we will help you. And we'll be putting out the farms shortly-ish enough, and making videos and showing you how to use it, and blogs and articles and everything. Indeed.
Yeah, seeing things in video format is always the best way to do it. We definitely intend to have that out for anything people will be using like that.
Right. In general, we want to make it as easy as possible for people to get involved, and for people to get started, to learn what they're doing, to get better at managing their money and at making more money.
You guys will probably be seeing a lot of me in the near future making these videos, but
I think the whole world is going to see a lot of you in recent years with the meteoric growth that you're having. It's got one person typing. Yes.
The gift
That's
just
a
keeps
long
going.
question.
Yep.
Yep. There's already a pretty decent amount of info on the docs. I've put it up a couple of days ago. Do check it out when you have the chance. It's on docs.cryptoarena.org. Cats, staking, and rewards. Yes, that's a very good question. War is bad, and I agree. I totally agree. It's yeah, you can hear our mascot in the background meowing. I do love cats, but that's not really what we were thinking of. However, we are very meme friendly. Okay,
We'll take it.
we'll take it. It's fine with us. If people find us, our project, among the million others, they get attention through the fact that it's a cute cat, that it's a funny meme, or whatever it is. it's fine with us because we actually do have, you know, a serious project behind it, proper tokenomics, proper benefits that we will be generating for society, because it's whole public infrastructure that gives away its own money to the people using it. So global infrastructure, so, you know, borderless, reaches everywhere. If they find us through fun ways rather than serious, suit and tie ways, who cares? Even better, I would say. Yeah, NFTArena will likely just turn into meme arena over time. Yeah, probably that, plus verified artists that have, you know, popularity and a fan base. But I can definitely see, you know, meme artists making a collection of cards that are a continuous joke throughout 5 cards.
I
Yeah.
think in general we'll see more memes in NFTs. Like from the beginning, that was my first thought. When I thought instead of art, I was like, no, memes. Like that was where I went with it. And people just didn't get it at first. Like NFT comedy just did not do, you know, super well. But now people are just starting to get into the whole meme and NFTs. And
Oh, memes
well,
are great. They have amazing staying power. Okay, people forget things very quickly,
yeah.
but memes stay with you, which is remarkable. And yeah, it will likely also become Pepe Arena for a while at least.
Seems like we're done with the questions here.
You do think so?
I think I'm just going to remind you guys to fill out that form if you haven't yet in the Cats giveaway chat. I also linked that in the AMA a couple times. We're just picking one winner this time, but it's going to be 500 tokens. You know, thanks again for coming and joining us. We're glad to have people here that want to learn about the project.
Yes, indeed. Danielle, you sound like you need a little bit of sleep.
Yes.
Which is only fair given how hard you've been working. And
Yeah.
indeed, guys, we are basically here around the clock. There's always someone of us trying to help, to give information, and to provide full transparency as we go along, and continue to build on all the amazing things that we're building. So feel free to reach us anytime. Tell me how oracles will play a part in Crypto Arena. Yes, very quickly, oracles are the watcher nodes. So they're the ones that connect the off-chain and the on-chain part. They're very important because they allow us to scale transactions off-chain on normal servers while preserving the full integrity, the full transparency, and the full accuracy of the distributions. And obviously this is a bit of a game changer because it's usually a trade between scalability and cost, while instead in our case you don't have to pay gas fees or slippage fees like you would on Uniswap. You can trade at mass volume like you will in a centralized exchange without the centralized exchange actually having control over itself, because it must redistribute all the profits. Will latency ever be an issue with this is a mighty good question, and something that will require extensive testing to actually rule out entirely, but it's not really. The block production time for the Polkadot relay chain is actually only 3 seconds, which it's short, but not that short, and and we can work with it, I would say. Besides, if a node were to fall backwards because it's connected less, its data would become obsolete, and it wouldn't match that with the rest of the chain. possibly, which is why we need testing and to deploy it and test it. Too difficult questions for here, man. Indeed. So basically, blockchains require to establish enough proof that something will happen in order to expect that it will happen. Because Mace Papa is trying to put me to the test and give me difficult questions, you know. So basically, view it as in you need to acquire enough resistance to something that's going to happen, that can happen in many ways, or enough experience, if you will, to react to things in a certain way. As I mentioned briefly before, with the gravity example, you don't actually have gravity in a digital environment, so you have to simulate it. Now, in reality, if I drop an object, you expect it to fall from top to down all the time because you're used to it. That being used to it is that resistance that we're talking about. In a digital environment, you can't expect that object to fall vertically downwards. It could actually go, you know, in front, in backwards, up, down, left, right. It could spin. It could do whatever it wants, really, whatever it's programmed to do. And creating a world in which that object always falls, and always falls in ways that are predictable, which means that are consistent with reality, takes a lot of errors. Basically, the computer needs to try out every other possible scenario. It needs to drop the object and have that object shoot up. It needs to drop the object and have the object shoot right, etc., etc., etc. And it needs to determine that all those are errors before it learns that gravity actually makes things fall down. Okay? That's the answer. Super complex shit, but yeah, that's the answer. If that was clear enough, as I hope it was. Thank you. And any other questions, guys and girls? Or I guess we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, if something comes in on the channel after we leave, we can always just answer them in the chat.
That's right. There's always someone available to help or provide info.
Yeah.
Have we done the giveaway already?
We are gonna leave it open for a little bit for everyone to fill out the form, and then we're gonna pick one person and just throw it into their wallet and announce it on Twitter and in the chat.
All right, fantastic. So don't forget to fill up the form. Get your chance at some more cats. It's 500 cats, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That means that it's $100.
I think it was like 80 something last time I calculated, but it's moving around so much it's hard to say what it could be double by the time we get listed.
Yes. Well, about $100.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming, and see you next time.
Yeah. Everyone have a great day.
Have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you are.